Welcome to the Deep Dive. So today, we're tackling a topic that, well, it often feels like a real challenge for many people. Weight management. We all know the usual things, right? Diet, exercise, they get talked about constantly.
Your go-to advice.
But what if, and this is what we're digging into today, what if one of the most powerful tools,
Yeah.
maybe the most overlooked, isn't in your kitchen, it's not in the gym,
Okay.
but it's actually right up here
Yeah.
between your ears?
Law of the mind.
Exactly. This deep dive is all about that connection, that really profound link between your mindset, your inner chat, your beliefs, your thoughts, and your whole weight management journey.
It's a fascinating area.
Yeah, and our sources today introduce us to something called Body Key,
By key.
described as a really comprehensive, personalized weight management solution. It seems to combine nutritional support products with, practical methods.
Yeah. It's a whole package.
Right. And a big emphasis seems to be on empowering people, giving you the knowledge for your own journey and maybe even helping you support others too.
That empowerment piece sounds key.
Definitely. And Body Key, according to the sources, breaks weight management down into these key pillars.
Pillars, okay. Like foundations.
Exactly. Stuff you probably expect, like the importance of diet for energy balance intake versus output.
Standard stuff, yeah. Energy in, energy out.
And they talk about having tools and skills for healthy eating at different energy levels. Then there's eating habits.
Oh, interesting. Not just what you eat, but when.
Exactly. Highlighting research that shows when you eat matters just as much. Impacts digestion, nutrient absorption. Body Key apparently helps assess and adjust those habits.
That makes sense. Timing can be everything.
Then, of course, physical activity, focusing on the energy expenditure side. Body Key provides scientific recommendations for activity plans, personalized for long-term management.
Right. Activity is crucial for burning energy.
And sleep care. This
Yeah.
one's big. They talk about the two-way street between sleep quality and duration and weight, especially how it messes with hormones.
Oh, yeah. Sleep is huge for hormonal balance. Lack of sleep can really throw things off, like appetite hormones.
Right. They mention insights into hormonal changes from sleep issues and offer sleep hygiene tips and also stress control.
Cortisol, the stress hormone.
You got it. Explaining how that chronic stress, that constant low-level worry, negatively affects eating, sleep, and weight. Body Key guides people in controlling stress.
So it connects back to sleep and eating habits, too. It's all linked.
It really is. And then the final pillar, the one we're really zeroing in on today, mindset adjustment.
And this is where I think it gets really compelling.
How so?
Well, while all those other pillars, diet, activity, sleep, stress, are absolutely fundamental, our sources really elevate this mindset piece.
Right.
They present it as the thread that kind of weaves through everything else. It often determines, how consistent you are, how resilient you are when things get tough.
So if we're really doing a deep dive into what gets missed, it's this, mindset adjustment.
Exactly.
Because the sources, they present the mind as, well, not just a passenger on this ride.
Not at all. They frame it as the driver,
Phew.
the one in control.
The driver. I like that. And the best
Well,
part,
it can learn to steer. You absolutely can learn to control that steering wheel.
okay, that's empowering.
Yeah.
So how does it work? What's the science behind thoughts actually impacting, our bodies physically?
Well, it's fascinating stuff. Your thoughts aren't just floating around abstractly. They trigger real physiological responses, powerful ones.
Like what?
Okay, take negative thoughts. Or just chronic worry, that background anxiety lots of us feel, that activates your body's stress response, fight or flight. It floods your system with hormones, particularly cortisol.
Right. The stress hormone we mentioned.
Exactly. And when that cortisol level is chronically high day after day, well, it's not just about feeling stressed. It's strongly linked physiologically to increased fat storage, especially around the belly.
Wow. Okay. So the stress itself makes your body hold on to fat more easily.
Yes. And it also amps up your cravings.
Craving for.
Usually not for broccoli. It tends to be for those unhealthy, high-calorie, sugary, fatty foods, comfort foods.
Okay. So it's not just, I feel stressed, so I'll eat cake. The stress itself is chemically pushing you towards the cake.
In a way, yes. It's nudging your body and brain in that direction. That connection is really profound.
It really is. And that links directly to emotional eating, doesn't it?
Absolutely. A negative mindset often fuels that behavior. Food becomes the go-to coping mechanism when you're feeling down, stressed, bored, whatever.
That quick fix.
Right. But it leads to overconsumption, usually followed by guilt, shame.
Which then makes you feel worse.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
creates this really challenging, vicious cycle. And it makes you wonder, if your thoughts are pushing you towards that comfort food, what happens if you can consciously shift those thoughts first?
That's a powerful question. And must tie into motivation too, right?
Huge link. Think about it. If your internal monologue is constantly, I can't do this, I always fail, I'll never lose this weight.
Yeah, that's incredibly demotivating.
Of course, it just
Yeah.
drains your energy and resolve.
Yeah.
But our sources really emphasize this. A positive mindset builds something called self-efficacy.
Self-efficacy. What's that exactly?
It's basically your belief in your own ability to succeed at specific tasks, your confidence that you can do it.
Okay.
And that belief, that self-efficacy, is absolutely crucial for sticking with healthy habits long term. It makes you see setbacks as learning opportunities, not proof of failure. It empowers you.
So it's not just rah-rah positive thinking, it's building a genuine belief you can handle it.
Precisely. And there's more. What's also really compelling is how our brain's reward pathways, the dopamine circuits.
The pleasure centers.
Exactly. They're heavily influenced by our thoughts and beliefs. So if you're stuck in a negative mindset, the sources suggest you might be more susceptible to cravings. It's like your brain is more easily tempted to seek those quick dopamine hits from unhealthy foods. That path of least resistance feels more appealing when your overall outlook is negative.
Interesting. So your thoughts can actually make junk food seem more rewarding.
It seems that way, yes. And then there's how you perceive progress, or lack thereof.
Right. Focusing on the failures.
A negative mindset zooms in on every slip-up, every time the scale doesn't move. It ignores the small wins completely.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
But a positive mindset, it actively looks for and celebrates progress, no matter how small. Maybe your energy is better. Maybe you resisted a craving. Maybe you walked an extra block.
Those little things.
Those little things keep you engaged, keep you motivated. So really understanding these connections, the hormones, the emotional eating cycles, self-efficacy, reward pathways, perception, it's fundamental. It's key to managing weight successfully and, importantly, sustainably.
Okay, wow. It really does sound like the mind isn't just a player, it's running the whole show.
It's the conductor, yeah.
So, if our mind has this much power, this much influence, what can we actually do about it? How do we start, rewiring things for success?
Great question. And the sources provide some really practical, actionable strategies. They lay out what you could call a 7-pillar positive mindset blueprint.
A blueprint. Okay, I like the sound of that. What's the first pillar?
The first strategy is practice gratitude daily.
Gratitude. Okay, I've heard about this, but how does it help with weight management specifically?
Well, it's not just about feeling nice, though that helps. The sources suggest taking just a few minutes, maybe when you wake up or before bed, and actually listing 3 to 5 things you're genuinely grateful for.
Even small things.
Especially small things. Your coffee, a sunny day, a good conversation. What this does over time, apparently, is it actively shifts your focus away from what you feel is lacking or what's wrong.
Towards what's actually good, what's abundant.
Exactly. It trains your brain to see the positive. And physiologically, this helps reduce that chronic background stress we talked about.
Oh, lowering cortisol.
Potentially, yes. And by fostering more positive emotions generally, it creates an internal state that makes you less likely to turn to food for emotional comfort. It counteracts that urge.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Less stress, less emotional eating trigger. What's number 2?
Number 2 is reframe negative thoughts. And they suggest a specific technique, sometimes called the yes and technique.
Yes and. How does that work?
So the first step is catching that negative self-talk. The I always fail, this is too hard, I'll never stick to it.
Right, inner critic.
Exactly. You acknowledge the thought, you don't fight it directly, you say yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I've struggled with consistency before.
Okay.
And this time I'm learning new strategies, and I'm committed to figuring this out, and I managed to stick to my plan yesterday.
So you acknowledge the negative bit, but pivot immediately to something constructive or true that's more positive.
Precisely. It's not denial. It's acknowledging reality, but consciously shifting the narrative from self-defeat towards growth, towards learning, towards capability. It builds resilience instead of letting the negativity take over.
I like that. It feels more realistic than just trying to suppress the negative thought. Okay, pillar 3.
Third strategy, set small, achievable goals. This is a big one.
Instead of the huge lose 30 pounds goal.
Exactly. That can feel overwhelming, setting you up for disappointment. Instead, the sources strongly advocate setting tiny, consistent goals you can definitely hit daily or weekly.
Like what? Give me an example.
Like drink 8 glasses of water today, or add 1 vegetable to my dinner tonight, or walk for 10 minutes at lunchtime. Really small.
Things you can actually tick off a list.
Yes, because each time you achieve one, no matter how minor it seems, it's a win. It's tangible proof you can do things.
And those wins build on each other.
They build confidence, they create positive momentum. It's like a snowball effect of I did it moments, making the bigger goals feel much more reachable over time. It's a win-win strategy.
Makes total sense. Create a feeling of success. Okay, number 4.
Number 4 flows really nicely from that. Practice mindful self-compassion.
Self-compassion. So being kind to yourself.
Essentially, yes. Being your own best friend, especially when you slip up, because slip-ups will happen, right?
Oh, absolutely. Nobody's perfect.
Exactly. So instead of beating yourself up, falling into that spiral of guilt and self-criticism.
Which, ironically, often leads to more eating, right? The what the heck effect.
Precisely. Instead of that, you treat yourself with the same kindness, the same understanding you'd offer a good friend who was struggling.
So acknowledge the slip-up. Maybe learn from it, but don't punish yourself for it.
Right. Recognize perfection isn't the goal. Learning and getting back on track is the goal. This approach dramatically reduces that toxic guilt and shame that can completely derail your efforts.
That feels like a much healthier way to handle setbacks. Okay, we're up to number 5.
Number 5 is a fun one. Visualize success. The mental rehearsal.
Oh, okay. Like athletes do.
Very similar principle. The sources suggest spending just a few minutes each day actively, vividly imagining yourself succeeding.
What sort of things?
Imagine yourself easily making healthy food choices, feeling energetic during a workout, stepping on the scale and seeing progress, fitting into clothes comfortably, just feeling vibrant and confident in your body. Really feel it.
So you're creating the feeling in your mind first.
Yes, because the fascinating thing is your brain often doesn't clearly distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one.
Really?
Yeah, so by visualizing success, you're essentially building and strengthening the neural pathways for that success. You're pre-paving the road, making it easier for your brain and body to follow when the time comes.
Wow. Mental rehearsal for real life. Okay, number 6.
Number 6 is about your surroundings. Surround yourself with positivity. Think of it as an environment hack.
Okay, so managing your external influences.
Exactly. Consciously limit your exposure to negativity. That could be overly critical people, toxic social media feeds that make you feel bad about yourself, news that just brings you down.
Yeah, that stuff can really seep in.
It really can. So you limit that, and instead you actively seek out the opposite. Supportive friends or family, online communities focused on health in a positive way, uplifting books or podcasts, people who inspire you.
So curate your inputs.
Precisely. Your environment shapes your mindset more than you probably realize, often subconsciously. So taking control of it is a really proactive, important step.
Makes sense, like weeding a garden and planting flowers. Yeah. And the final one, number 7.
The 7th pillar is focus on non-scale victories.
Okay, getting away from just the number on the scale.
Exactly.
You know,
the
you
scale
push
can
really
be
hard in
useful,
your
but it
workouts,
doesn't
you're
tell the
sweating
whole story,
buckets,
and it can
feeling
fluctuate
totally
for
wiped
reasons
out.
unrelated to fat
And
loss.
then you
It can
step
be
on the
really
scale, and it's
discouraging
like,
sometimes.
why
Totally.
isn't
So what
the
are
fat
non-scale
loss
victories?
happening? It's
Things
so
like having more
frustrating.
energy throughout the
It
day.
really is a common
sleeping
frustration.
better at night.
But
Noticing
what if
your
I told you
clothes
there's a
fit bit
specific
looser,
way,
feeling stronger
a
during
science-backed
exercise.
approach
Maybe your skin
that
looks
can
clearer.
actually help turn your
Or simply
body
noticing
into
you're in a better mood
much
more
more
often.
efficient fat-burning machine? All
Okay,
those
I'm listening.
positive
So it's not
changes
just
that
about
happen
grinding
alongside
harder.
weight loss. Exactly. Or sometimes
It's
even
much
before
more
the
about
scale moves
training
Yes.
smarter.
And consciously
And, well,
acknowledging
that's
and celebrating
precisely
those
what we're gonna
victories
dive
is
deep into
crucial.
today.
They
Great.
We've looked at some
reinforce
really
that your
comprehensive
efforts are making a
sources.
difference,
One covering
providing
physical activity
tangible
broadly,
proof of progress.
and another focusing right in
This
on
keeps
the
motivation
precise
high,
science
especially
of heart
during
rate
those
training.
inevitable
So what's the
plateaus
mission
when the
here?
scale seems stuck.
Our mission
That's a
really
great point.
is to give
Focusing
you
on
a
how
clear,
you feel and
actionable
function,
blueprint,
not just the
something
number.
you can use to
Absolutely.
So
genuinely
when you put all
optimize
these
your
strategies
workouts
together,
and,
practicing
unlock
gratitude,
your body's best fat-burning
reframing
potential.
negative thoughts,
Okay,
setting
sounds good.
small goals,
So
self-compassion,
where do we start?
visualization,
Maybe with the
positive
basics. Like,
environment,
what is physical
non-scale
activity
victories.
according to
Yeah.
these sources?
What our sources
starting
are really
point.
saying is that actively
the sources define
cultivating
it
this
pretty
positive
broadly.
mindset isn't just
Basically,
about,
it's any kind of
thinking happy
movement that
thoughts.
uses
It's deeper
energy.
than that.
Yeah.
It's
But
fundamentally about
crucially, it's
reprogramming
not
your
all
brain and your
formal
body's
exercise.
responses.
Right.
It's about
So there are
changing
different
the underlying
types.
patterns.
Exactly. We can kind of
And the
break it
outcome
down
of
into
that
two main
reprogramming
types.
is-
Well, the
First,
sources
there's something
suggest it
called
leads to real,
non-exercise physical
tangible
activity.
benefits. significantly
Never.
reduced emotional eating.
And that's any movement your
Fewer
body makes using your
overwhelming
muscles that
cravings.
burns energy
More
above just,
consistent motivation
resting,
day in, day
walking
out.
around, fidgeting,
Greater resilience
taking the
when
stairs.
you face challenges
everyday
or
stuff.
setbacks.
Right.
So you
And it
bounce
adds
back
up.
faster.
The World
Yes.
Health
An
Organization
improved
actually suggests
self-image,
aiming
feeling
for something
better
like
about yourself
6,000 to
regardless of the
10,000
scale.
steps a day
And ultimately, this
just
all
from this
leads
kind
to
of general
more
movement.
sustainable
Wow,
weight
okay.
management.
So that daily
Sustainable
pottering
because
around
you're fixing
actually
the root
matters.
mental
does.
patterns, not
Then
just treating the
you've
symptoms.
got what
That's
most
exactly
people
the
think of as a
idea. You're
workout.
addressing the
That's
driver, not just
exercise,
polishing
physical
the
activity,
car.
or
Wow.
EPA.
Okay, so wrapping
Sometimes
this up,
called
it
deliberate
really
activity.
hammers home
Okay,
that
so this is
idea.
the plan
Yeah.
stuff.
Your mind
Precisely.
is potentially
Planned,
the ultimate
structured,
tool you have in
repetitive,
this
and
whole
you're
weight
doing it with
management
specific
journey.
health goals in mind.
Often
And there are general
underestimated, but
recommendations for that, too.
incredibly powerful.
Absolutely.
For
and I think when you
adults,
truly
the
understand
guidelines
that,
usually
start
suggest
consciously
at least
applying these kinds
150
of
to
mindset
300
adjustments,
minutes of
it can
moderate
genuinely
intensity
shift the
exercise
whole
per week.
experience.
Gifted how?
Or
From feeling
if you're
like
doing
this
high intensity
constant
stuff,
draining
75 to
struggle
150 minutes a week.
into something
Got
more
it.
like
An
150
empowering journey.
moderate
A
or
journey of
75
vigorous.
self-mastery, really.
Basically, yes.
That's a really
And
powerful
within that
reframing
deliberate
itself.
exercise, the type
So maybe
you
a final
choose
thought
really
for everyone
matters for
listening
your
to consider
specific goal.
as they
Okay,
reflect
let's
on
break
this
that down.
deep dive.
What if your
What
main
if
goal is fat
mastering
loss,
your
or maybe better
mindset for
heart
weight
health?
management?
Then you're looking at aerobic
What if it
exercise
isn't just about
or cardio.
reaching a
That's your
physical
best bet
goal,
for
like a
improving
number
body
on the
fat
scale?
percentage
Go on.
and,
What if it's actually about
boosting cardiovascular and
unlocking
respiratory
something
health?
deeper?
Think running,
A
cycling,
resilience,
swimming,
a belief
kind of
in
thing.
your own
Right, the
capabilities
stuff that gets your heart pumping
that doesn't
for a
just
while.
help with weight,
What about
but can
building
actually
strength or
transform
muscle?
all areas of your life.
That's a
Then you
really
want resistance
provocative
training
thought. The
or strength
skills are
training.
transferable.
That's ideal for enhancing
Exactly.
strength,
So
muscular endurance,
maybe
or
think
muscle
about
size.
which
So
of these
lifting weights,
mindset
push-ups.
strategies we talked about
Exactly.
today really
Anything where
resonated
you're
with
working
you.
against some form
Which
of
one feels like a
resistance to
good
challenge
starting
the
point?
muscles.
How could you
And the
maybe
third type?
start to integrate
Stretching
just one of them
exercises.
into your own journey?
These are
maybe
focused
even
on
this week?
improving your body's flexibility and the range of motion in your joints.
Like yoga.
Yoga is a great example. It often hits flexibility really well, sometimes strength.
Okay, so we have these different types. Cardio,